Hey, what's going on? E. Jones, bottom to the top hoops.
Black Elvis, we are in the building.
Hell, I'm feeling really good, man. I got energy. It's a beautiful weekend. You know, yes, Monday morning, we back at it, man. Enthusiastic about the show we're going to talk about today. Give some insight, and you know, I'll wait. Let's talk about. Let's get to the sponsors. Man. T-Mobile, big shout out. Appreciate you. Thanks for holding us down. Who else we got, El?
Big shout out to the Harlem Wizards, man.
Yes,
WizFit Challenge, man. If you're ever trying to raise some money for your schools, if you want to bring excitement, WizFit Challenge is it, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
Yo, for sure, man. And, you know, people are starting to talk about doing things for the fall. Things are opening up. The Garden is at 75% for the playoffs game one versus the Hawks. That's going to be big. That's big. Your Lakers got a big win. Are you feeling good about that? Who else we got on the sponsor checking out?
Big shout out to my man, Legends Lounge. You know what I'm saying? Antonio, big shout. They calling them Nightlife Tone now. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. Shout out to Kev. They got the program Lead by Example, man, doing great things for guys that's, you know, transitioning, coming home from jail. So I want to shout them out, man, too, also. Who else we got?
For sure, man. Big shout out. Yo, L, man, I'll tell you what we got. We got a hell of a show today. That's what we got.
Don't forget MMCC, E.
Yeah. You know, pardon me. The bills got to get paid. MMCC, big shout out. Thank you for holding us down. We appreciate you for helping us make this happen. Bottom to the top hoops, episode 65. 65. So that means we've been going for a year and 13 weeks, man. So big shout out to you, L, holding it down, stepping in. Yo, I appreciate you, brother. Man, we do
big
this
shout
every
out
week
to you for always holding it down when I'm behind the camera.
Yo, look, man. Yo, to all of the people who consume the content, make sure you check us out. YouTube, Spotify, AppleTV.com, and BecomeTV.com. Yo, I'm excited because the weather's breaking, AAU season, basketball, it's playoffs, NCAA tournament ended in the end of April. This is our time right now. And let's just recap real quick. So, any thoughts on the playoffs?
I'm very excited for New York. Very excited. Oh, man, I'm just so happy, man, for the orange and black right now. It's ridiculous. You know, you seen what it is. I ain't got to talk about it. Game winner LeBron, little 2 steps in from half. Come on. You know what we do. He do what he do. He hit Steph with his thing, you know. So, you know,
I really wanted to see Steph in the playoffs, but Ja Morant really booked him. Like, yo, y'all need to go home. It's over for y'all, respectfully. And that kid, Ja Morant, man, after the game, I was watching, he was like, I'm a dog. And I was just saying to myself, like, I don't know where he trained at or who raised him, but you could see, like, he was there for that smoke. So, I mean, if kids want to know what we talk about, when we talk about, like, how you're supposed to play and the chip on your shoulder and what moments you're supposed to live for, like, just look at Ja Morant down the stretch versus the Golden State Warriors. So anyway, transitioning smoothly into this topic, something that is very controversial and that has been announced, the OTE, which is the Overtime Elite 16 to 18 Youth Professional League that will be starting in September of this fall, 2021. Elvis Blount. I got to call you Elvis Blount. Your government name, Elvis Blount, because we're dealing with a corporate situation. Elvis Blount, a.k.a. the Black Elvis. What say you? What do you say? First reaction, Overtime League. What the heck is going on?
First reaction was a little weary at first,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then,
As most people do.
you know, but as I started doing research and as we spoke about it and as I started seeing more and more of what they're doing, I'm actually falling in love with everything they're trying to actually build right now. I'm loving it.
That's a strong word. Love is a strong word.
Yeah, man.
So
Well, I'll give
they
it to
come
you like this. Once you sent me the information for me to do the research, I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. And I found out these kids are going to be playing against other prep schools, but have an opportunity to get paid, and they're still going to have to go to school and take classes. I said overtime is geniuses, because these kids are already having the itch. I want to make some money. I'm already that dude. I got my blue check. I'm popping. The only thing missing is the money in the wallet. Overtime figured out a way where we can still have you educated. You can still play the sport you love, but more importantly now, you can get a little money. And I think that's going to change the game, E.
So I know some people who are intimately involved in the process. And just for the sake of the show, because I want people to be entertained, I'm going to play devil's advocate. So let me just give some of the particulars. September 2021, 24 student athletes. Do you call them student athletes now that they're professionals?
But they're still students.
Yeah, but when you become a professional, it might be athlete student. It might reverse, right? Overtime, free game. I just threw y'all a line. But anyway, you get 24 athlete students, and they're only looking for the top of the top, the elite, to start off with, right? It's happening. It's going down in the ATL movie. Trae Young behind it, Jeff Bezos behind it, a host of NBA players behind it, overtime, and there are millions of viewers and their impressions that they bring along with it. So my question to you is this, L. You got 24 kids. Everything's popping. If it comes to New York, you buy a ticket to go see. What? Not Matt, you media. You ain't buying no ticket anyway. But the truth of the matter is, it may be good for those 24 because they're talking about brand building, they're talking about education, they're talking about opportunities to, invest. They're teaching this kid, they're developing the whole young man from the information I got, right? They're looking to travel to Europe, Africa. They're looking to play prep schools, G League, almost anything that would be a story. And they're going to chronicle this stuff, I'm sure, on Amazon Prime. Like, it's set up for success, along with all of the streams and overtime that they have. And I'm sure it'll be on so many different opportunities to be viewed. But what happens to the thousands of kids who are high-level Division I prospects who see themselves as overtime? Like, I'm going to OTE. I ain't got to worry about going to class no more. I'm going to the overtime league. I'm 15. I'm turning 16 in May. Going to OTE, taking no finals. What happens to those kids? Because what OTE is saying is we want the cream of the crop. Because essentially it only helps OTE if they bring in 24 and 16 get drafted or make it to the G League. Now they're like, it works. Our training works. Our brand building works. Because they're doing junior stuff, bro. I can't divulge all of the information that I have, but they're doing some genius stuff. But I'm saying, what is the trickle-down effect on those kids who are not going to be focused on academics? And they think, because there's so many people that think they're elite, but they're really not. What do you say to that?
I mean, because it's like so in the experimental stage right now, it's like, it's just an opinion. You know, it's not even a strong opinion because they're still figuring it out. You know, but what I do know is with anything like this, kids always get lost in the shuffle. With things like this, kids always fall to the wayside. So I hope that over time when they're recruiting, they're literally just dealing with the top 15 to 20 of that ESPN class, because then the kid can't fall to the wayside, because at the minimum, he's going to get a shot. You know, but when you take a chance on a kid, you might have seen him play well in a tournament, then you bring him with these elite kids. You know, some of those type of kids are going to fall to the wayside, and, that's what I worry about more so than anything, because, we know the kids that really are hoopers is going to hoop. It's the ones that kind of get caught in the shuffle who might have had a great game to be seen, but really ain't built like that.
And I think you're right. Those are the kids that do get lost in the shuffle. And I think it's important for Overtime to put out messaging to say, don't call us. We'll call you.
Facts.
Because at the end of the day, right, like, Overtime has a real opportunity to drive the message of education to all of the other athletes. And then they'll get support from so many communities because they're saying, hey, we're going after the select few, right? We encourage education. We encourage you to want to be a professional. But at the end of the day, everybody's not. But everybody's goals and aspiration, they're like, because, I saw the trends. Kids is like calling me. Yo, Coach E, you got the connect in Australia? Huh? Yo, Coach E, you think I could go to the G League? What? Like, you averaged 11 as a senior in high school. You averaged 11. You want to go to what G League? The grammar school league? You want to go to CYO?
It's a fact.
So there's a delusional sense that people have of where they are with respect to the elite level. Because everybody's going to say, yo, OT didn't pick me, they jerked me. I was nicer than such and such. Well, let's just talk about this, Al. There's a lot of money at stake. So they want your look to be right. They want your intelligence to be right. They want your family to be somewhat well put together. They want you to be able to speak in front of the camera. They want you to have marketability. They want you to have major, major gains. They want your health to be intact. Like, so you got to remember, you got 12, 6'7", 215 pounds, 40-inch vertical kids to choose from.
Yeah.
One's in Texas, one's in New York, one's in Chicago, one's in Detroit. Now you got to say, okay, as I'm going through this, which is the one that I really want? Who can I get? Like, this person's moms went to Princeton and they're all about education. He's off the list. Like, I called them, they don't even really want to talk. I'm not dealing with that. I'm down to 11, right?
Yeah.
This kid right here, he had a meniscus and an ACL surgery last year. His health is really in question. He's off the list. So this is what I'm saying. Kids don't realize that process of elimination that goes on when they're choosing. They're literally taking that list of 12 and they're looking at 3 kids.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find out, how can I allow this process to play itself out? Because usually what that happens, right, people usually cut themselves. They don't interview well. You know what I'm saying? They come to a workout. They don't show well. You know what I mean? Their conditioning wasn't up. I thought he shot it better. X him off. And then, L, guess what? They're going to really throw people in the ocean if they do girls.
If they do girls, it will be a movie. Oh, man. Because that's what the WNBA honestly is lacking. They're lacking the promo, the marketing aspect. And I'm not taking anything away from the people who's actually sitting in those seats. But let's just use the NBA for an example. There's no comparison to the WNBA compared to the NBA. And, maybe this might be a blessing in disguise if overtime really did girls, because it'll raise the morale for the WNBA.
Disclaimer. I'm going to put a disclaimer out because I know we got some female viewers and, I get it, gender equity. I got all of that. But this is science we're talking about for a second. I'm going to go on this soapbox, L, so you got to stay with me. I bug out sometimes.
Okay.
Look, you hype now. You want me to get my bag. Yo, but Pete, though, the average height of a male is different than the average height of a female. We are genetically built differently with our muscle, bone structure, in terms of our height, our athleticism, speed, agility, quickness, all of those things, right? So the women use a smaller ball because they have smaller hands, right? Their strength is different. So they can control, I said smaller ball. So they use a smaller ball so they can control it, right? So now my thing is, if we really want to make this game exciting, what are the three things in basketball that people really get excited about? Ball handling,
and dunks.
Shooting, and dunks. I think for the most part, women are a little bit more fundamentally sound, not as flashy, not as athletic as the men. But how do you get the dunks in the game?
They need to lower the rim.
I didn't say it. L, imagine if they shortened the court, lowered the rim, made the game more fast-paced, and it mirrored an NBA game.
I see where you're going.
All I'm saying is this, man. This is actually, I've spoken to people about this, and I just truly believe that I'm not saying that the women can't shoot on the 10-foot basket. I'm not saying the women are not capable. What I'm saying is, even if it was 9'5" tall, there needs to be women who are athletes who can play above the rim, who can stutter step, get in the lane, and really dunk on somebody. That's a whole nother level of excitement. And when you see girls doing that level of empowerment is crazy. So I don't know if you need to go with a narrower court. Maybe you leave all of the specs the same. But I'm saying get scientists and sports psychologists in there and really evaluate like a man versus a woman, the athlete, like put the measurables up and see how fast is the man, the fastest one, whatever that looks like, right? And scale it so it's equitable. Doesn't necessarily have to be equal. That's what I got on that. I know we went off the subject, but
it's all good.
We're just basically talking about if OTE did woman, and I think from a young lady's perspective, they could be the ones to do something.
You know what? Shout out to Baby Dunk. Maybe the WNBA need to partner with Baby Dunk. Imagine girls dunking on each other. Nasty. Yo, when you said that, I caught it. Once I said that, wow.
You know what's ill? Overtime and Converse did a platform where the girls, it was a low rim and the girls was dunking and they had some creativity. It was crazy, man. I don't know. Like I gotta look the highlights up for that, but it was nuts. It was nuts. Cue the footage, matter of fact, L. I know you got that somewhere. Cue the footage. So we find that you could drop that in. You know what I'm saying? But that's if I find it, I'm gonna send it to you. But anyway, so L, in closing, man, OTE League 5 years from now looks like what?
the G League.
How many teams?
Man, by then, maybe they might have 10, 20 teams. 5 years from now. I mean, I think it's all contingent on how well they do in the first 2 years of what they're building. Because it's either from there going to take off, and now even the NBA might entertain them in some level, or, you know what I mean? It's going to go left.
Well, you think about this, right, El? You got good, better, best. So you got the NBA, which is highest level. Beneath that is the G League. Then you could essentially say this is the farm system to the G League. Like, that's what they do in Europe, right? They got, you know, the club teams. They start off 16U, then they got the 18U, and then you go all the way up. And I'm saying this might be getting kids ready, and the NBA will probably be for it, because now you're getting to see the kid from when he's 16 with our people. That's what the Ignite was about. Like, we want the best of the best to train. We want to see how you react. We want to see if you built for it. Because as you start to see kids over time, you're going to see what their aptitude of adjustment and their probability of success. Because the NBA makes investments, and what they want to do is they want to make wise ones. So if they got 5 years of body of work of you in their farm system, and now it's time for you to come to the big leagues, they got a pretty good idea to figure out if you're going to have success.
Got it. Makes sense.
Al, man, this is going to be something. We're going to follow this one, and I'm gonna say this, man. We're going to do a part 2, and we're going to have some of the OTE people come on here and speak for themselves when we able to go back live. But thank you for sharing insight as well. Always, L. Big shout out to the team, D Jones, Jerry Ice. Check us out, YouTube, Spotify, Apple TV, and BComTV.com. Check us out on all platforms. You get the last word, L.
Big shout out to the Decisions team. Shout out to Sean Black. Shout out to Sap. Shout out to you, man. Because you're doing a lot of things behind the scene for a lot of kids that people don't know about, man. And, you know, I know, and there's a couple other people know, but I just want to give you your flowers, man, because I don't see people go as hard as you do for a lot of these kids. And if they did, man, we'd be in a better position in New York, man. So, you know, I want to give you your props. And, you know, man upstairs, you already know, without him, we can't do this.